It's a sunny day, so the pilots of this Navy helicopter expect it to be a busy day in the central Mediterranean, not far from the Libyan coast. And barely 30 minutes into our flight, the pilots tell us they've spotted a boat, possibly full of migrants. And there it is, miles away, steaming towards Italy, they hope. The warship Sphinx takes off to rescue them. Now they've all been given those distinctive orange life vests. We return to the task force frigate Virginio Fazan and join the crews there preparing to assist the seaborne rescue underway. The crews are dressed in masks and hazard suits in case of infectious disease.
It is incredible to see with your own eyes a boat like that, not big. It's been crammed with 290 people, and of them 21 are children. Now the Italian Navy has offloaded them all, and now the last batch that's been unloaded by the Italian Navy is ready to get on one of these warships and safety.
But this human drama also includes one death, and 3 very sick migrants are transported to be choppered to hospital on land. The very lucky ones make it up the stairs. They are all sat in rows on the top deck under the broiling sun. Most are from Eritrea, East Africa, escaping a dictatorial regime and military service that doesn't pay a penny. Almost no one speaks English, but this man tells me they all fled what amounts to slavery back home.
We know a lot of time, a lot of people, they have died in the Mediterranean Sea. We know that.
And yet you take the risk, even though you know a lot of people died.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know because I tell you by myself, I came from Eritrea.
What do you think of the Italians who saved you?
It is very good. We have a nice people, a nice country. We know that before when you are coming, we know that.
And then we walk over to the other side where women and children were separated, seeking shade and sleep where they could. 25-year-old Jury fetches water for her travel companions and their kids. She says they all spent a long time waiting for this in cruel conditions in Libya.
Were you afraid on the sea?
Yeah, really, we are afraid, but we pray to God also. God is good, they are safe for our lives.
So God came in the form of the Italian Navy?
Yeah, right. Yes, I'm happy.
Back on the busy bridge of the Fazan, Commander Marco Bagni directs this and other operations, and every rescue takes hours to accomplish, even on calm waters. There are up to 1,000 crew at sea all the time. Task Force Commander Admiral Ribuffo has one special mission aside from saving lives, stopping these merchants of death by keeping empty fishing boats out of the traffickers' hands.
You have called these boats weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
What do you mean that?
They are, because of course it's quite provocative, but in terms of human losses they have been causing, just one journey is extremely fruitful for a criminal organization. We're talking about 1 million euro per journey.
Really?
Yes.
1 million euros per journey?
Yeah.
Indeed, heavily armed special forces and Marines take off at top speed, soaking us, but making sure no trafficker was coming back for this wooden boat. And while they all await further orders under a new EU military mission, the human toll on young crews and even experienced naval commanders is immense.
I think that Italy and Europe in the next future will do the right thing, so I'm proud of that.
I can see it makes you emotional.
I would say yes, because confronting yourself with people is quite heartbreaking sometimes.
And rewarding at times too. After all, on just this mission, they have saved 289 lives. These migrants are safe and they are free at last, but still they sail on into an uncertain future. Christiana Manpour, CNN, aboard the Virginia Fazan in the Mediterranean Sea.
Matt Dieterman's family had been holding on to hope that he'd pull through, but the trauma the infantryman's body endured when this MV-22 Osprey crashed during a training exercise Sunday was just too much.
Last night when we had gotten the news that he had passed, it was kind of just, there's no words that can be put to that emotion. It's just kind of like a shock, almost.
Bill Dolan grew up with Dieterman. The two were cousins and spent summers together on Dieterman's grandparents' farm.
So it almost became tradition.
The youngest of three, Dolan says he was always there for the people who mattered most in his life.
Matt was a real family-oriented guy, super protective of his family, his mother and father, and his siblings, of course.
Dieterman was stationed at Camp Pendleton in San Diego. He arrived in Hawaii on May 10th for a 7-month deployment and was participating in training exercises with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit when the crash happened. In his final Facebook post, Dieterman wrote, "See you on the flip side, America. Nothing but love goes out to all of my friends and family. Till I see you all again, be safe and keep my brothers of the 3-1 in your prayers." Although his loss is tragic, Dolan says he believes Dieterman was meant to be a Marine.
I feel like looking back on him and his personality, I feel like that was the best thing for him, and honestly God's path that he wanted him to go down.
American flags in Cuba. Once banned, they are now the hot fashion item here. U.S. flags on shirts, U.S. flags on bandanas. U.S. flags hardly on at all. Since the announcement last December that the U.S. and Cuba would restore diplomatic relations, suddenly the stars and stripes are everywhere. Everywhere except the future site of the U.S. Embassy in Havana. American diplomats have fixed up the flagpole there, but the slow pace of negotiations means they can't raise Old Glory just yet. Many Cubans, like bicycle taxi driver Angel, are already flying the American flag. People say that the Americans are going to do harm, but I don't see it like that, he says. I think the best thing that could have happened is that ties improve between Cuba and the U.S. Since the 1959 revolution, Cuba's communist-run government has cast the U.S. as the island's mortal enemy.
It wasn't that long ago that showing any kind of sympathy or support for the United States could get you in real trouble in Cuba. Even wearing an American flag could lead to being put on a list of ideologically suspect people. But now there are so many people wearing so many U.S. flags that that list would simply be too long for officials to keep track of.
U.S. flags are not easy to come by in Cuba. The Cuban government, at least officially, has the monopoly on clothing sales, and state stores don't carry U.S. flag apparel. But Cubans get the clothes via the black market or relatives visiting from the U.S. Despite the Cuban government's attempts to dial back expectations, many Cubans think renewed relations with the U.S. will lift Cuba's slumping economy. Optimism that Daimara wears as brightly as her red, white, and blue spandex. I hope that things might improve, she tells me, for the people, the economy, and many other things. Just seeing these flags at all is a sign of change.
And 6,028 shows, and he ran the numbers, and he said it works out to about 8 minutes of laughter.
David Letterman's final send-off overnight, full of the iconic funny man's self-deprecating humor and all-star guests.
Our long national nightmare is over.
The show's beginning patriotic, with U.S. presidents past and present ushering Letterman into retirement.
Letterman is retiring.
You're just kidding, right?
The late-night legend walking on stage one last time to a fitting 3-minute standing ovation from a packed Ed Sullivan Theater. Then, the final all-star top 10.
It's our friends here at the Light Show.
Top 10 things I've always wanted to say to Dave. Everyone from Jerry Seinfeld.
Dave, I have no idea what I'll do when you go off the air. You know, I just thought of something.
I'll be fine.
To Bill Murray.
Dave, I'll never have the money I owe you.
Oh, no. I can't tell you how flattering, embarrassing, and gratifying it has all been.
Later, a dedication to his staff. Saving his musical sidekick Paul Schaefer for last.
As good a friend as you can have on television, as good a friend as you can have in life, absolutely a musical genius, Paul Schaefer.
Thank you so much, Dave. You changed our lives.
Letterman's final musical guest, the Foo Fighters, performing Dave's favorite, Everlong, playing over a montage of the past shows since 1982. The band singing the lyrics, "If everything could ever feel this real forever, if anything could ever be this good again."
The only thing I have left to do for the last time on a television program, thank you and good night.